Welcome back to Song Leading Basics, where we look at the basics of how to lead a congregation or choir. Now in the last lesson, lesson 1, we looked at what might an opening gesture look like, what's good hand position, what's good arm position, and then we talked about the basic conducting patterns of 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to take a little bit of a break from something that's more gesture focused and talk a bit more about how does beat work and how do we determine what meter signatures should get which patterns. When you lead a song, then typically you'll lead in 2, 3, or 4. But which meter signatures go with which patterns? Now, these time signatures or meter signatures reflect the way songs are built. Typically, beats come in groupings of 2, 3, or 4. And so in 2, you'd have something like this: strong, weak, strong, weak, strong, weak. And then in 3, it would be similarly strong, weak, weak, strong, weak, weak. Okay, before we talk about meter, we have to talk about beats and understand a little bit about how they work. We can think about big beats and little beats. So big beats, very steady and regular, and then we can add some little beats to divide the big beat. And if you count, you'll notice there are 2 little beats to every big beat. But some songs don't actually work that way. Some songs have 3. Well, what do we call this? When we have 2, we call that simple. When we have 3, we call that compound. And again, what's happening here is you have a big beat, but that big beat is divided into little beats. Now, let's look at how this actually works in meter. Okay, now that we've talked about big beats and little beats, let's look at what meter signatures actually go with which beat patterns. Okay, in 2 beats to a measure, again, we have simple and compound. And remember, simple is when you divide those 2 big beats into little beats. Specifically for simple, it's 2 little beats in each of the 2 big beats. Compound is different, but we'll get to that in a moment. So for simple, we have 2, 4, and 2, 2. For compound, remember, each of the 2 big beats is divided into 3 little beats, and that is 6, 8, and 6, 4. Now, how do these actually look when we're conducting? So let's look at some samples. Here now is an example of 2, 4. So it's 2 beats to measure, and each beat is subdivided into 2, and it's a simple, easy 2 pattern. Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to Thee. Looking now at a compound pattern, day is dying in the west is in 6, 4, and it would look something like this. Day is dying in the west, heaven is touching earth with rest. Okay, you see now how that is working to have simple and compound, and as we roll down through here, they're all really the same. So in 3 beats to a measure, in simple time, we have 3, 4, and 3, 2. Compound, 9, 8, and 9, 4. Let's take a look at these in context again. Come Thou Almighty King is in 3, 4. It looks like this. Come Thou Almighty King, help us Thy name to sing, help us to praise. Lord, I am fondly is in 9, 8. Lord, I am fondly, earnestly longing into Thy holy likeness to grow. Again, you'll notice that in both simple and compound, we still use our normal 3-beat pattern. Okay, 4 is exactly the same. So we have meter signatures of 4/4 and 4/2, and again, that's in simple time. And in compound time, we have 12/4 and 12/8. Now, these are a little bit more rare. Usually these would actually be written as 6/8 and 6/4, but you will find some songs that are in 12/4 or in 12/8. Now, again, let's look at these in context. Fairest Lord Jesus is in 4/4. Fairest Lord Jesus, ruler of all nature. Now again, these are a little bit rare, and if you encounter those, remember that you'll still have your same 4-beat pattern. Now, what about the 6-beat pattern? First, we need to note something about this. Regularly, any song that is in 6/8 or 6/4 should usually be led in 2. Usually, if you lead that song in 6, it's just going to be too slow. And I think we often sing our songs just a little bit too slow if we are singing them in 6. Now, that said, occasionally you will actually lead a song in 6. And so we might look at Silent Night for an example of that. Silent night, holy night. And just as an illustration, I think you might want to consider speeding it up a bit and doing it like 6/8 usually is done, and that's in 2. Silent night, holy night, all is calm. Now, if you try it too fast, your congregation might rise up and revolt, so you need to figure out what's actually going to work in your congregation. Take a note that we really don't have any simple time, that's in 6, and we simply have, again, 6/8 and 6/4. If you're going to lead it in 6, then these are the time signatures in which you would possibly lead a song in 6. So that hopefully gives you an idea of how meter signatures work and what patterns link up with those meter signatures. Again, I really suggest that you get in front of a mirror and keep leading these patterns until they're deeply ingrained in you. Keep working and practicing until you become proficient. We're providing a download for you that has this information on a sheet of paper that you can take with you and you can work. So keep working, keep practicing. You'll find yourself getting better. Join us for Lesson 3. My name is Wendell Knisley, and I am the Executive Director of Shenandoah Christian Music Camp. We're delighted to be able to bring to you Song Leading Basics, learning the basics of how to lead a congregation or choir. And we're glad to be able to bring it to you free of charge. But of course, producing video series like this is not free at all. And if you're interested in helping to fund it, to keep this kind of content coming, we invite you to donate. You can go online to our website at www.musiccamp.info.